Good morning. Welcome to this edition of the Lynn Hayes Freeland Show. Boy, I feel like this is, what was that old show? This Is Your Life? I feel like a part of this show is This Is Your Life. I'll tell you about that in just a second. But in the second half of the show, we're going to talk about a new approach to educating our children. And if you have a young person in your house, you're going to want to stick around for that. But we begin with basically a call to the community to come forward with memorabilia, memories, anything that has to do with the YMCA on Center Avenue, because these two gentlemen are looking for your help. They are. Is that that's pretty
Absolutely.
much it, right? Ronald Saunders, Tom Burley, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what are we talking about here? We're talking about the YMCA, which is currently under, I guess the groundbreaking has happened.
Yes, it
for
is.
the renovation of it. It'll be an all-new facility, but boy, the history that happened at that Francis Street YMCA.
Absolutely. So much history there. We had some titans in African American history reside there, play there, participate in the activities there. I mean, it was essential. You figure the Courier's across the street, then you have the Center Avenue YMCA and the Courier, two of the biggest institutions in the black community, coexisting, residing right there. Courier with the largest circulation one time of any black newspaper in the country, and the Center Avenue YMCA. I mean, wow.
Wow, indeed. So, Tom, one of the reasons why that building is so significant to the history of this city is there was a time that African Americans couldn't stay downtown or anywhere
Absolutely.
else, no other hotels.
That is correct.
And so
That
when
is
people
correct.
came to Pittsburgh, that's where they stayed.
They had little choice. Unless they stayed with other residents in the city of Pittsburgh, they had to stay at a place like the YMCA of Pittsburgh, which at that time was called the Colored YMCA of Pittsburgh. That changed in about 1950 when the YMCA decided that it had to move forward like the rest of the world was moving forward, the rest of the United States was moving forward. But you know, just as background then, when you think about it just a little, you know, the Thelma Lovett YMCA, which we all love now, opened in 2012. That's a new YMCA in the city of Pittsburgh that provides all of the services that a YMCA should provide. 1912 or 2012, I'm not sure what I said. 2012, it opened, and it's been open for about 5 years and been doing a wonderful, wonderful job. The Center Avenue YMCA opened back in 1923.
Wow.
Been operating for nearly 100 years. And it provided lots and lots of services, as you mentioned, housing services when people couldn't stay anywhere else. It has gone through its ups and its downs, but has done a good job of providing services for all of those years. We need to make sure that as time goes on and as the Thelma Lovett YMCA provides services for the community now, we don't lose the history of the YMCA on Center Avenue, or the Center Avenue YMCA. And that's why we're together. We formed a committee. It's called the Center Avenue YMCA Legacy Committee. We've been chartered to come up with a history wall, if you will, so that when people come into the Center Avenue YMCA, they remember what went on there, how it was used, and so on. So we're here because we know that there are a lot of residents of the city of Pittsburgh who should have memorabilia and trophies and all sorts of things that had to do with the YMCA when it was in its heyday on Center Avenue. That is no longer the case. And that Y is now going to be converted into single occupant rooms, 74 rooms in that Y. They're investing over $7 million to upgrade that facility. And we, Ron and I and several others who've been involved in the Y, have been chartered to come up with a legacy wall, if you will. So when people walk in, they remember the history of that YMCA.
They get this history.
So, exactly. So we're here soliciting, if you will, asking for people who would have memorabilia of one kind or another to possibly provide it to us so that we can incorporate that into the planning of that wall.
This legacy wall.
Exactly.
So in other words, there's someone out there who might have a picture of me in the fashion show in the Francis Street Friendly Circle fashion show.
Absolutely, absolutely. Or some one that played in the church league. And that church league was one of the most highly competitive, successful basketball leagues in the city. It would rival, or in some cases, better than the Scholastic League.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And I used to keep
don't
score.
Forget the swimming and
Oh,
all the
absolutely.
other.
I used to keep
you
score
were
of the
part of that.
basketball games with the metal plates, you know, changing
Right,
scores with the
right.
metal plates. They didn't have electronic scoreboard. I'm like 10 or 11, and I can remember Ann Sharp and Molly and Ida attending the games, and they just live right up the street from me. And Ann's now part of the history committee along with Darlene
And that would
Malone.
make sense because my grandmother used to always talk about the Sharp family. Hold that thought. We got to take a commercial break. We got a lot more to talk about this morning on the Lynn Hayes
Right.
Freeland Show.
Absolutely.
So don't go away. We'll be right back.